At this moment, we have information from the Venezuelan National Assembly, where President Nicolás Maduro will enact the law in defense of the Guyana-Essequiba. Let's see.
La doctora Delcy Rodríguez, quien está al frente de esta alta comisión nacional en defensa de la Guayana-Esequiba. También el diputado Nicolás
Also, Deputy Nicolás Maduro, who is present in what's going to be an important event of the enacting of the law, which is very important for defense of Guayana-Essequiba. We must also highlight parts of the decrees that the official map is going to be made official.
Presidente constitucional de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela.
We can see that President Nicolás Maduro is entering the hall of the National Assembly and is greeting all the members that are here, all the authorities that are present, deputies of the different blocks, political blocks, as well as from different sectors of the oppositions that are being here present. It was going to be an important enactment of the law for the defense of Guayana-Esequiba. Last March 21st, that's when this law was sent to the Constitutional Court for it to be approved, and today is expected the signature of the President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, in this important event that will allow to move forward for the defense of the national sovereignty of the territory of Venezuela. Also, it was immediately ordered the defense force of the Essequibo, the union that will be in charge of protecting this area and the resources as oil, gas, and minerals. The decree which means the integral defense of Guayana-Esequiba is being created for 3 years, and it will have 28 sectors of development, as well as a decree through which the work is going to be organized for the different objective to protect the reserves and monuments of this region. All this in unity, in a national unity. Nicolás Maduro has invited all the members, all authorities, all different sectors to come and join for the defense of the Guayana-Esequiba. Venezuela is going to continue defending its truth, which has evidence in history from the very beginning of the founding father of the homeland, from Simón Bolívar. Now we are seeing Nicolás Maduro greeting authorities of the National Electoral Council and also the president of the Supreme Court of the country. Now he's greeting the Attorney General of the country, Tarek William Saab. We must highlight that Nicolás Maduro, in different moments in this country, has made a reference to the historic events and all the challenges that Venezuela has overcome in the fight for this territory.
El periodo colonial y periodo de la independencia inicia en 1492 con la llegada del colonialismo europeo a tierras americanas y
a process that began with European colonialism that arrived to this land and took part of the land what is today Venezuela.
Bienvenidos al Salón Elíptico del Palacio Federal Legislativo al acto de promulgación de la Ley Orgánica para la Defensa de la Guayana-Esequiba.
Welcome to the event of the enactment of the law for the law of defense of Guayana-Esequiba. We're now going to listen to the national anthem of Venezuela.
En la voz inmortal del comandante supremo Hugo Chávez, se invita al público asistente a entonar las gloriosas notas de nuestro himno nacional. Palabras del ciudadano diputado Jorge Rodríguez Gómez, presidente de la Asamblea Nacional.
We're going to now listen to the statements of the President of the National Assembly of Venezuela, Jorge Rodríguez.
Muy buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
La presencia de la más amplia representación de la vida social, política, económica
We welcome
del
the
país
high number of people present here from all different sectors of the country
Salón Elíptico,
in this
el
electric hall,
espacio más importante,
in the most
puesto que es el
important space.
depositario de el acta que
This is
dictaminó
the place where the
nuestra
act
independencia para siempre.
that was signed to
Señor
that established our
Presidente
independence for
Constitucional de la República
forever.
Bolivariana
This is
de
where it
Venezuela,
was established.
Nicolás Maduro Moro,
The President Nicolás Maduro,
doctora y diputada Cilia Flores, primera combatente
Deputy
de la
Celia
República,
Flores, first combatant of Republic,
vicepresidenta ejecutiva
Vice
Delcy
President Delcy Rodríguez,
vicepresidentes de gobierno,
and Vice Presidents of government,
cabezas de los poderes públicos
heads of people's
de
power
la República Bolivariana
of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela,
ministros, gobernadores,
ministers,
gobernadoras,
governors,
alcaldesa de Caracas,
mayors,
jefe de gobierno,
heads
de
of
Caracas,
government of Caracas,
representantes y diputados y
representative
diputadas,
and
y
deputies,
representantes de los sectores de la
and other
vida
representative of
venezolana.
the Venezuelan life.
El 3 de diciembre
On December
del
3rd
año 2023
of the year 2023,
ocurrió un hecho sin precedentes
an
en
unprecedented
la
event took
larga
place
historia de Venezuela
in Venezuela's
en la
long
lucha
history
por sus derechos inalienables
in the fight
sobre
for its
la
inalienable rights
Guayana-Esequiba.
over Guayana-Esequiba.
Por primera vez en nuestra historia,
For the first time in our history,
por la vía de la activación constitucional,
and through constitutional
fue
means,
convocado al pueblo de Venezuela
the people of Venezuela was called to a consultative
para que
referendum
opinara
to
sobre los eventos
give
más
their
importantes
opinions on the
relacionados
events most
con la
important
defensa de la
related to the defense of
Guayana-Esequiba.
Guayana-Esequiba.
El amparo del Acuerdo de Ginebra, el rechazo al írrito laudo
The holding of the
de
Geneva Agreement and the
1899,
rejection
los mecanismos
of the
para
arbitrary
la
war,
delimitación de las
a
áreas
mechanism
por
to
delimitar, de
for
las
delimitation
aguas por delimitar
of the sea
en
and land
el territorio de la Guayana
in this
Esequiba,
territory of Guayana-Esequiba,
y de manera trascendente la creación
and a paramount event,
del Estado
the creation
de la
of the state
Guayana-Esequiba
of
como un
Guayana-Esequiba
estado más
as
del
another state
territorio de la República
of the national
Bolivariana
territory
de
of the
Venezuela.
Bolivarian Republic
Con una
of Venezuela,
participación masiva y
with
unos
a massive
resultados
participation
que nunca antes habían visto
and results
en la
never
historia
before
del
seen
evento
in the
electoral
history
alguno
of
del
elections.
planeta entero. Casi la
We can
unanimidad
even say
del pueblo
in the
de
whole
Venezuela
world, we could
aprobó
almost
5 veces
unanimously,
sí
the
la pregunta
Venezuelan
que se
people
hicieran
approved 5
acerca
times yes,
del referendo
5 times yes, everything related to the consultative referendum.
Fue un mandato inalienable,
It was an
un
inalienable
mandato
mandate
ineludible
that could
que
not
nos
be
da
eluded,
el pueblo
that
de
the people
Venezuela
gave
a
to
todos
us,
y a todos aquellos que tenemos alguna responsabilidad
to all of us that
en la
have
vida
responsibilities
en ese
in the political
sentido,
life of this
y
country.
respetando
In this sense,
el
and
resultado
respecting the
del
results
referendo
of the
consultivo,
consultative referendum,
ciudadano presidente
citizen
constitucional de nuestra
president,
república,
constitutional
Nicolás
president of Bolivarian
Maduro
Republic, Nicolás Maduro,
convocó y tuvo la iniciativa
convened and had the
de
initiative
solicitar
to
una
request
ley
a law
en defensa de la
for
Guayana-Esequiba
defense of
que
Guayana-Esequiba
pudiera contener los elementos
that could
aprobados
contain the
por el
elements
pueblo
approved by
en
the
el
people
referendo
in this referendum.
Además de la aprobación de 9
Besides the
decretos
approval of 9
que
decrees
activaban los
that
mecanismos
activated the
del
mechanisms
Ejecutivo
of
para
the
la defensa de la
executive for the
Guayana
defense of Guayana-Esequiba.
en una fecha tan temprana
In a very early date,
como el 6 de febrero, del
like
6
February 6th,
de enero,
no, sorry,
del 6 de
6th of
diciembre,
January,
del año
no, sorry,
2023,
6th of
se
December of
aprobó en
2023,
primera discusión
in first
el
discussion it
proyecto
was
de ley de
approved the
defensa
bill
de la Guayana
for the
Esequiba.
defense of
Y en
Guayana-Esequiba.
una hora tan temprana como el mismo 7 de diciembre se iniciaron
And the
los
same
procesos de
December
consulta
7th,
a
the
todos
process of
los sectores
consultation
de
began
la
in
vida
all sectors of
venezolana.
Venezuelan life.
Fueron consultadas las cabezas de los poderes públicos, el fiscal general
the Attorney General, the heads of government, the Supreme Court of Justice, the Defensorship of the People. They were all consulted. Hundreds and hundreds of assemblies were made at the popular level, and of hundreds of proposals of modifying the bill, we used telecommunications to try to contact everyone, and from those great consultations, we achieved, we created, we sustained the bill strong enough for it to be approved as it was by the National Assembly last March 21st of this year 2024. It is a law that comes directly from the mandate of the people of Venezuela. It is a law for defense of a territory that is ours, for defense of our sea that is ours, for defense of an ecosystem that is being savagely attacked by the transnational, oil transnational and parachute in this territory that is without question Venezuelan. And also that in an orderly fashion and in the framework of the Geneva Agreement, the creation of the state of Guyana-Esequiba ratifies the rights that Venezuela has over this territory. Today is an important day in terms of judicial matters for the coming of the laws. The National Assembly already fulfilled with its mandate and its first discussion to take it to a broad consultation and to talk about it in a plenary session last day, March 21st. Then it was sent to the Supreme Tribunal of Justice for the characteristics that this law has, and the Supreme Court dictated the constitutionality of this law, already approved by the National Assembly. So today, Mr. President Nicolás Maduro Moros, we are delivering the law that was already established as constitutional by the Supreme Court of Justice, and it was approved by National Assembly, so that you have the moment to enact this law so that it comes into effect. Congratulations to everyone that made this possible today.
Palabras del ciudadano Nicolás Maduro Moros, presidente constitucional de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela.
Diputados y diputadas,
Deputies
de este cuerpo legislativo del país,
from this legislative body of the country,
Dr. Elvis Huidrobo Amoroso,
Dr. Elvis Amoroso, President of the National Electoral Council,
quinto poder de la República,
the fifth power of the Republic,
Doctora Beatriz Rodríguez,
Dr. Beatriz Rodriguez, President of the Supreme Court of Justice,
Dr. William Saad Jalabi,
Dr. William Saab,
Fiscal General de la República,
Attorney General of the Republic,
del Poder Ciudadano,
President of the People's Power,
compañera y doctora Delcy Rodríguez,
Dr. Delcy Rodriguez, Vice President, Executive Vice President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela,
ministros, ministras,
ministers,
gobernadores, gobernadoras,
governors,
alcaldes, alcaldesas,
mayors,
líderes empresariales,
business leaders,
líderes comunicacionales,
communication leaders,
líderes religiosos,
religious leaders,
líderes de la cultura,
leaders of culture,
del arte,
of art,
de la ciencia,
of science,
líderes sindicales, líderes
union
sociales,
leaders, social leaders,
presentes,
all present,
Estado Mayor Superior de nuestra
the joint
heroica,
staff
firme y gloriosa
of
Fuerza
our heroic force
Armada
of the
Nacional
Bolivarian National Armed Forces,
Poder militar del país.
the military power of our country.
Hoy es 3 de abril.
Today is April the 3rd. I was remembering with Celia, Dr. Celia Flores de Maduro. We were talking with Deputy Celia that precisely on April 3rd, 4 months, a day like today, Venezuela experienced a spectacular moment, a historic moment. For the first time since Venezuela was a victim of being taken this territory away, the people was convened through constitutional means so that the people would decide the destiny and future of the rights of Venezuela over Guyana-Essequiba. On December 3rd, 2023, years will come, decades will pass, and future generations will remember with pride those who dare to convene to the opinion of the people so that they could express with all their sovereignty, with all the efficiency, with all its power, and it's exactly on April 3rd, after fulfilling with what the Constitution stipulates and the law, the National Assembly received immediately on that week of December. I delivered through the Executive Vice President a bill to turn into a law of the Republic and with an organic character the sovereign decision of the people on the 5 questions over the historical rights of a peaceful people as the Venezuelan people over the Guayana-Essequiba, which is without question belongs to Venezuela. And the National Assembly did what it had to do. It made an open public debate. Multiplied by the dozens, the assemblies, and the days of consultations and debates. They consulted the academy, reading to all deans and headmasters of universities of the country. We call on specialists and experts to bring together the criteria of the sovereignty and the knowledge of the scientific know-how that treasures our academies and universities and our experts in Venezuela over this subject. So all that process was fulfilled. Amidst that process, we, very early, in that same month of December, barely 12 days, no, 11 days, that people expressed in a magnificent way during that consultative referendum, we were able to sit face to face with the president of Guyana, which he did not want to talk with Venezuela. And we sat face to face with first high-level witnesses in that meeting of December 14th in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in Argyle, the region where the airport in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is. 8 prime ministers were present from the Caribbean. A special guest was
Colombia,
the foreign minister of Colombia,
el asesor presidencial
the
del
presidential
presidente de Brasil, Celso Amorim,
counselor of Brazil,
y cara a cara le mostramos a ellos,
and face to face we showed
cara
them,
a cara le mostramos al presidente
we showed to the president of Guyana
los documentos históricos
the
que
historical
avalan
documents
nuestra posición, de cómo el laudo arbitral
that sustain our
de
position, or how the
1899
arbitrary award of the 1899
es nulo, irrito,
is illegal,
anacrónico, y Venezuela, en base al derecho
and Venezuela, on the basis of international law,
no lo reconoce.
does
En
not
base al Acuerdo
recognize
de
it.
Ginebra, no lo reconoce, ni lo
In the framework of the
reconocerá
Geneva Agreement,
jamás,
it does not recognize that arbitrary award and will never do so,
colonial,
because it's part of the colonial right, of the old colonial right,
desfasado, anacrónico.
completely out of date.
Es como que si el reino de España viniera a reclamar
It's
su
like
tierra,
if today the Kingdom of Spain came to reclaim their land.
derecho colonial anacrónico.
That would be an out-of-date colonial right.
Traer los acuerdos.
And they would try to bring back the agreements, the
Doctor
papal
Alfonso
agreements,
Rodríguez, y el reparto que hizo el Papa
and the repartition that the Pope did
de nuestra América.
in our continent.
Para allá, para Portugal,
From here to there, Portugal, and from here to over there, Spain.
y pretendiera España llevar esos documentos a la Corte
And,
Internacional de
and would
Justicia.
Spain pretend to take those documents to the International Court of Justice to reclaim their old possessions?
En el mismo nivel
It's the same level
está el laudo arbitral de
is the arbitrary
1899.
award of
Forma parte
1899.
de
It's
la
part of that,
diplomacia de las cañoneras,
of the diplomacy of cannons.
y si pudiéramos llamar entre comillas del derecho colonial de despojo.
And
de
if between
potencia
quotes we
del
could call it the colonial
Reino Unido,
right
y detrás
of dispossession
los
from the United
Estados
Kingdom,
Unidos de
and
Norteamérica.
behind them
Siempre
the
detrás
United
los
States
Estados
of
Unidos
America.
de Norteamérica.
Always the United States of
Siempre.
America.
Con su bendita doctrina Monroe
Always there with their blessed
de América
Monroe
para los
Doctrine
americanos,
of America for the Americans,
donde ellos se abrogan el derecho
where they appropriate the right to govern over us and tell us what to
como que
do,
nosotros fuéramos coloniales
like if we were their colonies,
del Río Negro, del Río Bravo,
from Bravo River
hasta la Patagonia.
all the way down to Patagonia.
Allá ellos, allá aquellos apellidos y oligarquías que se han dejado y se dejan gobernar y mandar.
Be
desde
warned those
Washington.
far-right elites that allow themselves to be governed and ruled by them. And no, the time of colonial domination and subordination in Venezuela is over, and it's over forever. We can guarantee this with our life
Por mucho tiempo.
for a long time.
La campaña electoral
The electoral campaign,
convocada por el magnífico Consejo Nacional Electoral,
convened by the magnificent National Electoral Council,
cumplimiento siempre de las leyes
always fulfilling the
que
laws
rigen la materia,
that govern the matter,
en cumplimiento del mandato constitucional
in
nuevo
compliance with the
de haber
constitutional
recibido
mandate of the people
constitucional y legalmente la petición
to
a
receive
referéndum
constitutional
de parte de
legally
la Asamblea Nacional,
the referendum on behalf of the National Assembly,
unanimidad, o sea, por
voted
más de dos
unanimously
tercios, como manda
as established
la Constitución,
by
las
the
leyes y el
Constitution.
reglamento. La campaña electoral fue una campaña
The electoral campaign
de altura pedagógica
was very
que
important,
logró
very
sensibilizar
teaching, which managed to raise awareness
y actualizar
and update
el tema de los derechos de Venezuela
on the
sobre la
issue
Guayana-Esequiba.
of the rights of Venezuela over Guayana-Esequiba,
Actualizar el conocimiento,
to update the knowledge,
darle voz a los que jamás lo
give
habían
voice
tenido
to those that had never had it
sobre este
before
tema,
on this subject,
renovar el sentimiento
to renew
patriótico
the
del
feeling
pueblo
of
pacífico
patriotism of our peaceful people
que jamás se resignó
that never
a que
surrender,
despojaran su Guayana-Esequiba.
that the region was taken away from them.
Tema sensible, de verdad, para todos los venezolanos, todas las venezolanas.
It's a very sensible issue
Logró,
for all
yo
Venezuelans.
diría, un milagro
that managed to create a political miracle, the union in a sole national sentiment that was everywhere, in schools, on the streets, and it became a song. The Essequiba is ours. A single phrase, one single slogan that managed to unite one single feeling, the historical rights of our country. Today we are here in the presence of our liberators. We are surrounded by them. Here in the center is Bolívar. They gave us this land. They gave us our identity. They gave us our character. They gave us a vision of a great homeland. And they gave us the Guayana in its entirety. Because Bolívar left it for us in its totality. Our right over Guyana is a libertarian right in the face of colonial dispossession. We're going to take that away from the Spanish Empire, from the Essequiba River to Parapampoa. And we establish this as a foreign land, as a free land. Is there anyone that could say that Venezuela independence was given for free, that it was given as a gift? What I'm telling you now, I have as witness my wife, Delcy, and all militaries that were with me. I say this face to face to the Guyanese president. You come here to vindicate a colonial dispossession. You come here without documents, without proof. You cannot have them. You are an heir of an empire that stole from a free country. And I come here to reivindicate our right, because that land cost the blood and tears of our liberators, and it belongs to Venezuela, to no one else, Mr. President of Guyana. I can tell you that after being over 6 years and a half as a foreign minister, and now I have 11 as president. First, as president in charge, interim president, in accordance with the Constitution. I was interim president first, where I did what I had to do. I called for elections, and then we won. 11 plus 6, 17 and a half years. To see the things that I've seen. To travel the world. I know more than 100 countries. With Commander Chavez, we made part of this world. We put Venezuela as a part of this world. And I've seen the face to kings, popes, presidents, prime ministers. I had never felt so much satisfaction than to represent Venezuela face to face before the president of Guyana, which simply became the puppet of ExxonMobil and a puppet of the United Kingdom Empire and a puppet of the South Command of the US. I never felt so much pride of representing Venezuela. All this truth collected in this debate, all the truth approved by the people in the referendum. Our right is historical and also based in justice, based in truth. We do not pretend to take anything from no one. On the contrary, we pretend to rescue, to recover what genuinely belongs to Venezuela. President Jorge Rodriguez, deputy
caroreño y caraqueño.
from Caracas.
Decía el doctor Jorge Rodríguez
Rodriguez was saying that precisely
en este salón protocolar
we have here in this protocol room.
yo sé que es el elíptico, me tienen que soplar.
I know it's the elliptic.
El salón elíptico. Pero eso es bueno porque a veces uno se le olvida el nombre de alguien.
Well, that's good because at times you forget the name of something and then you're talking Mr. President from the National Electoral Council
Nadie dice Elvis Amoroso,
and no one says the name
porque uno se le puede olvidar.
because one can forget a name, right?
Agradezco
I appreciate.
pues. En el mejor sentido de la palabra, pues. Cuando uno le dice algo al oído.
The little blow to the ear in the best sense of the word.
Este es el salón elíptico, es el salón
This is the
protocolar
elliptic
por
hall, the
excelencia de la
protocol hall
República.
by excellence of the Republic.
Pero es un salón machista.
But it's a machist
¿Dónde
hall.
está Joaquina Sánchez? ¿Dónde
Where is
está
Josefa Joaquín?
Camejo? ¿Dónde
Where
está
is
Luisa
Josefa
Cáceres
Camejo?
Arizmendi?
Where is Luisa?
¿Dónde está Juana Ramírez la Manzadora?
Where is Juana Ramirez?
¿Dónde está Urimare?
Where is Urimare?
¿Dónde están las mujeres?
Where are the women?
¿Dónde están las libertadoras?
Where are the women that fought for the independence of Venezuela?
¿Dónde
In this hall.
están en ustedes, mujeres?
They are in you, women, present here today.
Están en ti, Beatriz Rodríguez.
They are in you, Beatriz Rodriguez.
Silita.
They are in you, Celita.
Valga el comentario, señor presidente, me disculpa. Yo sé que este salón le pertenece, lo administra el gobierno nacional desde siempre.
Sorry for the comment, Mr. President, I apologize. But I know this belongs to
De Guzmán Blanco.
from the time of Crespo and Guzman Blanco.
Esto es una ley
This is a law
que contiene un conjunto de elementos muy
that
importantes.
contains a group of elements very important.
Viene de un referéndum.
It comes from a referendum.
Venezuela ha vivido esta extraña dictadura
Venezuela has
que
lived
ataca al
this
gobierno de Estados Unidos.
strange dictatorship
Diariamente recibimos ataques.
of attacks from the
desde
United
adentro
States.
de una derecha
Every day
extremista fascista.
we receive attacks from within, from a far-right
Ni los
fascist
dejaremos, ni podrán.
that have never been able to do more damage to us, to this country, and we will never allow this.
El imperio estadounidense
From abroad, we have the United States Empire.
atacan a nuestra Venezuela.
They constantly attack our
Una
country.
Venezuela que está viviendo en paz,
A Venezuela that is living in
está
peace,
recuperándose,
that is
progresando a
recovering
nivel económico.
over
Una
time,
Venezuela
recovering the
en debate
economy.
público permanente, ejerciendo sus libertades, su soberanía política.
Country that is exercising its liberties and political
Con el
sovereignties.
referéndum del 3 de diciembre
With the December 3rd referendum,
se llegaron doctor Elvis Amoroso,
Dr. Elvis
a
Amoroso,
30 elecciones en 25
we
años,
read 30 elections
con las
in
elecciones
25
convocadas
years.
para el 28 de
When the
julio,
elections that we have called for the July 28th, it will be the election number 31.
extraña dictadura, extraño régimen.
What a weird dictatorship, what a weird regime, as they say before, because before they say the regime of Chavez,
Régimen de Maduro,
now they say the Maduro regime.
régimen que yo tengo,
And the only regime I have
que hago de manera
is the important diet that I do,
religiosa, pues.
that I follow religiously.
De esos 30 elecciones,
From these
7
30
han sido referéndum
elections,
consultivo.
7 have been consultative referendum.
El primer referéndum,
The first one,
25 de abril,
April 25th,
1999, diputado,
1999,
para consultarle al pueblo la convocatoria de la constituyente y las bases para la elección de
to
la
talk with the
constituyente.
people about the
Nunca antes en la historia de
Constituent
Venezuela
Assembly.
republicana
Never before in the Republican
se había
history of
consultado
Venezuela
la constituyente,
had this
sus
been
bases, sus objetivos.
consulted with the people.
El segundo referéndum,
The second
15 de
referendum,
diciembre de
December
1999,
15, 1999,
para consultarle al pueblo
to
el
consult the
texto de la
people
Constitución.
on the
Nunca
Constitution. Never before. fathers, priests, pastors present here, leaders from the Catholic religion, Muslim leaders. Never before in the Republican history had a whole people we call to go over the Constitution. And that's what it was done on December 15, 1999. The third referendum, December 3rd of the year 2000, the famous union referendum to promote the transformation in the unions. Greetings to all the union leaders here present today. The fourth referendum was made in spite of the irregularities in the infamous signatures that were repeated, and that fourth referendum was the first referendum that was made as an obligatory one for the first time in the history of humanity. An incredible dictatorship, U.S. empire. An incredible dictatorship, oligarchy of the far-right elites. Racist and uninclusive. The fifth referendum, December 2nd, 2007, to consult on a text, very beautiful text, very ambitious, with great changes for the country and reforms of the constitution of the Republic. Because it's put there that not a single comma can be changed from this book without consulting the people of the country, and that's why it was done this referendum in the year 2007. Sixth referendum, February 25th, 2009. Sorry, February 15th. The sixth referendum. To add an amendment, a constitution amendment, and establish the continuous and sovereign election to all public office by popular vote. Approved by over 54% of the votes after an intense debate. And the seventh referendum of our history, and I will say the big daddies of all referendums, the referendum of referendums, December 3rd, 2023, wherein the people voted 5 times yes for their historical rights over the Guayana-Essequiba, the Guyana of the liberators. We have different unprecedented events. We took for the first time the debate on the Guayana-Esequiba to a referendum, going all the opinions, all the debates. There were some that called to vote yes for 3 questions or for 2, and others that called to vote yes for all 5 questions. There were some that called to not vote. There were also some that called to sabotage the referendum, like ExxonMobil, Guyana, and the far-right elites, fascist elites from within our country. And after all that, a historical decision that we must respect, and it's a mandate, indivisible and united mandate for all Venezuelans of the referendum of December 3rd, the established obligations for the mandate of the people for the recovery of the historical rights over Guayana-Esequiba. An unprecedented event.
Pero ahí pasamos a otro hecho también
But from there we go to another
único, inédito.
one-of-a-kind event in our
Por
history.
primera vez, no sé si en el mundo,
For the first time, I don't know if in the
no sé si en
world,
el mundo, habría que estudiarlo.
we will need to see if this happened also for the first time in the world.
Canciller está aquí.
Foreign Minister is here?
Ah, no lo veía.
I could not see you.
Señor Canciller, podría
Mr.
ser la
Foreign
primera
Minister,
vez,
could it be the first time in the history of the world? I believe.
o por lo menos la primera vez en la historia de Venezuela, estoy seguro,
But I'm sure that it is the first time in the history of Venezuela that a
de carácter
consultation
obligante, vinculante, como un referéndum,
of a binding
se convierte
character
en
of
ley
a
de la
referendum
República
becomes
para
a bill of the
formar parte de la
Republic
estructura jurídica
to be part of the
del movimiento
judicial structure
político, del movimiento
of
institucional
political
interno
movement and
del país.
institutional movements of a country.
Y así fue.
And so it
Y
was.
hoy estamos recibiendo
And today we're
una
receiving
ley
a law
ratificada en su
ratified
carácter orgánico
in its
por
organic
parte del
character
Tribunal
by
Supremo
the
de
Supreme
Justicia,
Electoral Tribunal,
y yo puedo decir
by the Supreme
con
Court of
pleno
Justice,
conocimiento de causa,
and I can say with all knowledge
todas las potestades y el poder que me da la Constitución, que
with
la
all the
decisión
authority
del
and
3 de
power
diciembre
the
del
Constitution that
referéndum,
provides me,
convertida ahora en ley
that the
orgánica
decision of
de la
referendum
República Bolivariana
of
de
that
Venezuela,
referendum December 3rd
será
today
cumplida
turn
en todas
into
sus
an
partes
organic law of
en
the
la defensa
Constitution
de
of our
Venezuela,
Republic.
en los
It
escenarios
will be
internacionales.
fulfilled in full in all
Si era obligante la decisión,
sectors of Venezuela, national and internationally.
diría un abogado en buen ejercicio.
A lawyer
Si ya
would
la
say
decisión del referéndum era obligante y vinculante,
if the decision of the referendum was binding,
es
today
legal.
is also legal.
Hoy además constituye parte
Today is
del
also
entramado
part
jurídico, legal de
of
un
the
país,
judicial legal
para su funcionamiento,
structure of our country for its functioning.
tanto de la política interna
Also from the
como
national
de la política
policies
exterior, de la
as
diplomacia.
well as for the
Para
international
este gobierno
policies,
que
diplomacy.
presido,
For this
y para
government
los
that I
gobiernos
preside
que
over
vengan,
and for
muchachas,
all the governments that come
jóvenes,
after.
para los gobiernos que vengan
For the future governments
en los años, en las décadas
in the years and decades to come.
que vendrán inexorables para nuestro país. El tema de la Guayana-Esequiba
The issue of Guayana-Esequiba
es un gran tema.
is a great subject.
Se ha escrito bastante sobre este
A
tema.
lot has been written about this.
Se ha opinado.
Lots of opinions have been given.
Se tiene como elemento fundamental.
It is an
Esta
important
ley orgánica
element.
recoge
This
de
organic
manera
law
magistral
gathers
las
in a
5
perfect
preguntas
way
y las 5 respuestas
the 5
que
questions
nuestro
and the
pueblo
5
dio en el
answers
referéndum
that our people gave in that
consultivo.
referendum.
Consta de 39
It
artículos
has 39 articles
distribuido en 6
distributed in 6 chapters
y 4 disposiciones transitorias. Se ratifica de manera clara,
It clearly ratifies
inexorable y contundente el carácter írrito del laudo arbitral
the
de
illegal
1899 en el
character of the
artículo
arbitrary
4.
award of 1899.
Y con ello se implementa la pregunta número 1.
And with that we implement the first question that the people approve overwhelmingly.
Se ratifica
It also ratifies,
tomando la decisión del referéndum,
taking into account the decision of
al
referendum,
Acuerdo de Ginebra como único
the Geneva
instrumento
Agreement as the
jurídico
only
válido
judicial
para
instrument
alcanzar una solución
to be able to
práctica
reach a practical
y
solution
mutuamente aceptable
that is mutually
en relación
accepted
con la controversia
in
sobre el
relations to
territorio de la
with the
Guayana-Esequiba,
controversy of the
artículo número 5.
Guayana-Esequiba territory. That's in the
Con ello
article
se
number
implementa,
5.
doctor Elvis, doctora Beatriz,
And with that we implement
la pregunta 2 del
the
referéndum
question number 2 of the
del
referendum
3 de diciembre.
of that December 3rd.
Se ratifica,
We also ratified
diputado Germán Escarrá, uno de los hombres que más ha estudiado y trabajado en este tema.
Deputy
Pido un aplauso
Hermano,
para el doctor
one of the
Germán
men that
Escarrá.
worked the most in this issue.
De
I ask an
dilatada
applause for him.
trayectoria
A very long trajectory
jurídica,
in judicial matters.
un patriota apasionado
A passionate
de los
patriot
temas vitales de la existencia
of
de nuestra
vital
república.
issues of the existence
Doctor
of this
Escarrá, en el
republic.
artículo 6, se
Article
ratifica
6, in Article 6, it is
la
ratified
posición histórica de
the
Venezuela,
historical position of Venezuela,
la posición que ha tenido nuestro país
the position our country has
desde el
had
gran presidente Isaías Medina
since
Angarita,
President Isaias,
desde el gran venezolano
since that great
Rómulo
Venezuelan,
Gallego, desde el presidente general Marcos Pérez Jiménez,
since President General Marcos Pérez
desde los
Jiménez,
presidentes de la Cuarta República,
since the presidents of the Fourth Republic, Rómulo Betancourt,
Rafael Caldera,
Rafael Caldera,
Carlos
Carlos Andrés Pérez,
Luis Herrera Campins, Jaime Lucinchi, CAP 2, Rafael Caldera 2, de nuestro amado comandante presidente
of our
Hugo Chávez,
beloved commander and
y la
President Hugo
posición que ha
Chavez,
mantenido como
is the
jefe de
position
Estado
that he
de
has
no
maintained as a head of state
reconocer
to
a la
not
Corte
recognize
Internacional
the
de Justicia
International Court of
como
Justice
instancia para
as an
dirimir la
instance
controversia
to
sobre la
solve
Guayana-Esequiba.
the controversy of the Guayana-Esequiba.
75
75 years
de una posición
of a
sólida,
stance, of a solid stance, firm,
argumentada, sustentada,
argumented and sustained,
justa,
just,
equilibrada, legal,
balanced,
en el
and
plano
legal
de la legalidad internacional,
in the
además.
framework of the
Legal,
international law. It is
basada en el
legal,
Estatuto de Creación de la
based in
Corte
the
Internacional de
statute of the
Justicia.
International Court of Justice.
Venezuela participó
Venezuela
con el
took
gobierno
part
del general Isaías Menganita
with the government of
en los
General
debates
Isaias in the
que dieron
debates
como resultado la
that gave as a
fundación
result the
de la Corte
foundation
Internacional de Justicia,
of the International
y
Court of
siempre
Justice,
dejó por escrito su
and always
posición
left there
sentada.
in writing its position.
Y desde esa época hasta
And since
nuestros
that
días,
moment to these days,
nuestra posición ha quedado
our
por
position
escrito, en
is
documento
in
legal
writing in legal
y de
documents
manera verbal,
and
en
also verbal
intervenciones
way
diversas
in
de
different
nuestros jefes de
interventions
Estado,
of our
más
heads of
allá
states beyond
de las posiciones ideológicas o
the
políticas
ideological
de
positions
75
of
años
political
de historia de nuestra
positions in
Venezuela.
75 years of our Venezuela,
Más allá de esas posiciones.
beyond those positions.
Por eso en el artículo
That's why in
número
Article
6
number
se
6,
ratifica
we ratify
la decisión
the decision
ahora de carácter orgánico
now
y
as
legal
an organic
dentro de
level
Venezuela
and
de
legal
no
within
reconocer
Venezuela
la
to
jurisdicción
not
de la
recognize the
Corte
jurisdiction of the
Internacional
International Court of
para los
Justice
asuntos relacionados
to anything
con la
related
independencia
with
e
the
integridad
independence and
territorial
integrity, national
y para
integrity
todos estos
of
asuntos de la
the
Guayana-Esequiba.
region and all these affairs of the
Siendo una ley
Guayana-Esequiba.
orgánica,
Being an organic law
obligante, siendo una ley
binding
de la República,
and being a law of the
debe
Republic,
ser acatada por
it
todos
must
los
be
ciudadanos
followed
y
by all
ciudadanas
citizens
de nuestro país.
of our country.
A buen entendedor, leyes claras, pues. Igualmente, en
Likewise,
el capítulo 2
in Chapter 2,
se establece la creación
establish the
del
creation
Estado
of the state,
número 24,
number
el Estado
24,
de la Guayana-Esequiba,
the state of
dentro de la
Guayana-Esequiba,
organización
within the
política
political
territorial
organization, territorial
de la
organization
República
of the
Bolivariana de
Republic
Venezuela.
of Bolivarian,
Se
of the
establecen
Bolivarian
sus
Republic of
límites.
Venezuela. Its
Con
limits
este
established.
artículo
With this
número
article,
9,
number 9,
se implementa
we are
en la
implementing
práctica legal
in
del
practice,
país
in legal
la
practice of the
pregunta número
country,
5 del
the
referéndum
question
del
number
3 de
5
diciembre.
of the referendum of December 3rd.
Igualmente, en los artículos 11,
Also
12 y
in
13,
Articles 11, 12, and
se
13,
regula el funcionamiento de los poderes públicos
regulate the
nacionales,
functioning of the
regionales y
public
locales
offices, regional and local offices in the state, in this new state of Guayana-Esequiba.
maravillosa
A
del
wonderful
referéndum
creation
que
of the
nuestro pueblo
referendum
certificó con su voto.
that our people
Se
ratified with his
otorga,
vote.
además, a la población de la Guayana-Esequiba
It also grants the
una
people of
justa
Guayana-Esequiba
representación
a just
en la
representation
próxima
in the
Asamblea
next National
que será electa en el
Assembly
año
to be
2025.
elected in the year
La
2025.
población de la Guayana-Esequiba
The people of Guayana-Esequiba
tendrá su diputado,
will have
tendrá sus
his
diputados.
or her deputy.
Además, se establece
It also establishes
la disposición, la conformación
the creation
de una alta comisión
of a high commission
concebida de esa forma como una alta comisión
conceived as a high
del
commission
Estado y del país
of the state and
para la
country
defensa de la
for the
Guayana-Esequiba,
defense
del
of
artículo
Guayana-Esequiba
número 19,
in Article 19,
haciendo confluir a los integrantes de los tres consejos previstos en la Constitución,
bringing together the
el Consejo de
members
Estado, el
of
Consejo
the
Federal de
three
Gobierno y el Consejo
sectors of the
de
Constitution,
Defensa de la Nación, una institución que debe ser una institución
an
virtuosa,
institution that has to be
con el virtuosismo
powerful
republicano
and virtuoso
venezolano en su mejor tradición
in its best tradition of dialogue and consensus and union in defense of the homeland and what belongs to Venezuela. Also, in Article 23, it expressly forbids the publication of the political map of Venezuela without the incorporation of Guayana-Essequiba. In Article 25, Mr. Lawyers, jurors, judges, it forbids expressly to opt to public offices to those people that have adopted or carry out conduct that directly or indirectly favors the position of disposition of Guyana, of its government, of transnationals like ExxonMobil. It is a necessary article. Also, it's an important article, the one I'm going to read. Controversial. Because it establishes the clear limits so that people respect Venezuela. Limits for the cowards. Those are cowards, those are brown nosers. No one respects them. Not even when you go out in the street, they will respect you. Even dogs can smell the fear in cowards. No one in this world will ever respect cowards, which is what this article defends bravely. This article defends the interests of Venezuela when it grants the President of the Republic to prevent the signing of agreements of people that collaborate with land operations with Guayana-Esequiba as well as in the sea that are pending for delimitations. Article 27. Those who understand, understand. Everything legal. Everything in good manners. In dialogue, everything. On the bad side, nothing. On the imperialist right, nothing. Illegally, never come with us for anything. And those that dare to come against Venezuela will pay dearly. We are good people. We like to talk. We don't go against anyone in this world. We are not subverting the land and sea of any country of the world. We are not going against gas and oil and the wealth of anyone. Have you seen Venezuela going somewhere out there, going to a sea without permissions, without being delimited to take out the gas? No. So do we have to accept that they go into a sea that is pending delimitation? Do we have to accept that they go to the sea from this region? Do we have to accept that they decide to take part of that sea and land that belongs to Venezuela? No. You have us all wrong. ExxonMobil and the President of Guyana and the US, you are very wrong with Venezuela. in your position of colonial and imperialist dispossession, in your threatening position.
Muy equivocado.
You have it all wrong.
Toda una ley maravillosa
This is a wonderful law
que ahora hay que buscar su mayor difusión nacional e internacional.
that we now must look for it to be spread all over national media and international media.
Igualmente, en el artículo 29
Also in Article 29,
se implementa la pregunta número 5
we implement the question number 5.
se establece la obligación de diseñar
That establishes
e
the
implementar un
obligations to
plan
design and
especial
implement a special plan
para la protección y
for
el
the protection
desarrollo de la
and
población
development
actual y
of the
futura
current
del
and
territorio
future people
de la Guayana-Esequiba,
of the territory of
así
Guayana-Esequiba,
como la creación de unidades
as well as the
administrativas
creation of
especializadas
administrative
dentro de
units
los órganos y
within
entes
the
con competencia en materia
bodies
petrolera,
in
minera
terms
e
of
industrial,
oil and
con
mineral,
el objeto de abordar las potencialidades del terror y el
with the
territorio de
objective
la
to
Guayana-Esequiba.
improve the exploitation of these resources in this region.
Los departamentos especiales de la CBG,
All special departments on CBG, Guayana-Esequiba,
PDVSA,
PDVSA, Guayana-Esequiba,
y todas las unidades
and all the
productivas que son
productive
necesarias
units that are necessary
para
for
los subsecuentes desarrollos.
subsequent developments in the region.
Hay un conjunto de elementos
There's a number of elements, important
en el
elements,
régimen transitorio
in terms of the transitory regime
que en los próximos días serán
that in the coming days
activados,
will be activated
explicados.
and explained.
Estuvimos hablando precisamente,
We were precisely talking
durante la campaña
We were
electoral,
talking
6
during the
momentos
election
históricos.
campaign of different moments in
Aquí yo
history.
traigo, mira,
Here I have it,
mi ayuda memoria
my helper
del debate de la campaña electoral,
from the debate of the electoral campaign,
de las clases magistrales que compartimos, ¿recuerdan?
from the
¿Ah? Aquella
From the
reunión que
lessons
tuvimos
that we
desde
share.
Carreño,
those different meetings we had,
la reunión que tuvimos con los oficiales y cadetes, la clase magistral de la Fuerza Armada, la clase magistral de casi
the
4
different
horas,
lessons,
personal diplomático
maestro
de Venezuela en el
presentations
mundo,
we had in different
y a
regions with
movimientos
different
sociales y
sectors.
líderes del mundo. 6 momentos históricos estuvimos hablando.
6 historical moments we were talking about.
El primer momento histórico,
The first one,
precisamente
precisely
de 1492 a
1492,
1840,
to
la formación del territorio en el periodo
1840,
colonial.
the creation of the territory and independence.
Allí están los documentos, los mapas.
There we have documents and maps that only Venezuela has, no one else has.
Puede tener el presidente de Guyana un mapa que
Can
diga
the
este
president of
territorio le
Guyana
perteneció,
have a map that tells
que fue
them
fundado por
that
él,
that
por
territory
ellos?
belongs to them, that it was created by them? No.
Puede tener algún documento
Can he have
público de
any
carácter
public document
internacional
of international
del siglo
character
XVII, XVIII.
from the 16th, 17th century? No.
El segundo momento histórico
The second historical moment,
de 1840
from
a
1840 to
1899,
1899,
el periodo de la agresión
the time of aggression
multitudinaria del Imperio Británico
of the
con el
British
apoyo por
Empire
detrás del Imperio
with the
estadounidense.
support of the US Empire.
Lo caracterizamos como la agresión imperial
We
colonial,
named this
el despojo
time
y el fraude arbitral.
the imperial aggression and dispossession and arbitrary war of
El tercer
1899.
momento histórico lo
The
caracterizamos
third historical moment
de 1900 a
is from 1900
1966
to
como el periodo de la
1966
diplomacia
as the time of
imperial de la
diplomacy, of
cañonera.
imperial diplomacy of cannons,
El derecho colonial
of colonial rights,
impositivo, la denuncia del fraude, el despertar de las conciencias y el acuerdo de
imposing
Ginebra.
the, very important during that moment, the awareness of anti-colonialism, which ended with the signature of the Geneva Agreement,
que se disponía a conceder la autonomía
where the British authorities
llamada así independencia
would concede the autonomy, that's the way they called
Guyana
independence,
británica
of British
fue
Guyana,
República Cooperativa de Guyana,
that would now be the Republic, Cooperative Republic of Guyana, with the signature
clara y taxativa,
of the Geneva Agreement.
establecido que todo
It
lo
was
que
clearly
venía atrás
established that everything that came
quedaba atrás,
before
era nulo y rito.
was null.
Porque si hubiera estado vigente el laudo arbitral,
Because if the arbitrary award would be still in effect, the British Empire would not sign the Geneva Agreement, where a new agreement had to be established on this territory. They would never have signed it. They would have never enacted. So the signature of the Geneva Agreement was a turning point in history, where Venezuela expressed clearly that the controversy is alive, that the arbitrary award is null, it's a thing of the past, and everything begins as of the signature of the Geneva Agreement as the only instrument of negotiation, agreement, and resolution of this controversy. The fourth period is from 1966 to 2015. You know this period. The commissions that were established. The presence of mediators that were named. The Puerto España Protocol that was signed by Dr. Caldera and then carried on in 1982, where the Geneva Agreement governed in a unique manner the relations to resolve the controversy between Guyana and Venezuela. And then what we call the fifth period, the time of imperialist conspiration, the conspiracy of the right wing, of the far-right elites against Venezuela, which is the time where ExxonMobil comes in. After confirming the vast reservations of gas and oil, ExxonMobil takes control of political and military life of Guyana, and take also control of international policies of Guyana. It disavows the Geneva Agreement, kicks it out, and takes over this area, and illegally goes to the International Court of Justice in a lobby maneuver, very suspicious. In an organization as the International Court of Justice, that is ever more under suspicion. We cannot cover the truth on these international bodies. In that period of 2015-2023, they tried to take Venezuela to a civil war. They tried several coups d'etats. They tried to kill me in different opportunities. Everything was tried to take over the political power. And who was behind every conspiracy? Always the power of the United States Empire. And gave the support and financing. Regretfully, the far-right elite of the European Union. Guarimbas 2017, or have we forgotten about this? The interim government that tried to impose a civil war, to impose in a failed manner in Venezuela in 2019-2023, or have we forgotten? The conspiracy of today that we have managed to contain, dismantle, and defeat. And it has only one objective. They all have one single objective: to put their claws over a country that has two powers. An economic power of the greatest oil reserves in the world, of the greatest reserves of gas in the world, of the greatest iron reserve, aluminum reserve, gold reserves. It's an economic power of one of the greatest reserve of biodiversity and drinking water. They want to put their claws on a key country of the north of South America. And another great reason is to put their claws to bring back the monarchy, because here is where liberators of America were born. They want to destroy this. They want to destroy the spirit of liberation of the region. of the light that nourishes.
Ponerle las garras a nuestra Venezuela amada.
They want to put their clothes on our beloved Venezuela.
Sobre la corte hay muchas cosas que decir.
About the court, there's a lot to say.
Solamente Padre Numa Molina,
Only Father Molina,
usted como
you
sacerdote
as a
del
priest
pueblo, de los barrios,
of the people of the neighborhoods,
jesuita,
Jesuit,
nacido en el sur de Mérida
born in south of Merida,
y que anda al lado del pueblo.
and is always next to the people.
Usted bien lo sabe. Ustedes,
You know this
pastores,
well.
evangélicos,
You all
sacerdotes
know this
católicos,
well.
líderes musulmanes,
Muslim
judíos
leaders,
presentes.
Christian leaders, Catholic leaders.
Ustedes bien lo saben.
You know this well.
Llevan la palabra de nuestro Dios.
You
al
bring the
pueblo.
word of our God to the people.
Cuánto dolor hay
How much pain there
por
is
Palestina.
for Palestine.
¿O es que a ustedes no le duelen los niños palestinos que matan por cientos todos los días?
Or is it that it does not affect you, all the hundreds of children and women that are being killed in Palestine
Que
daily?
nadie lo ve.
Does no one see this?
¿O es que nadie vio cómo
Does no one see
asesinaron a
how
7
they assassinated
misioneros
7
humanitarios de
humanitarian
Occidente?
workers from Western nations?
Y Netanyahu declara desde
And
Tel
Netanyahu
Aviv,
says, since
dice
from Tel
Netanyahu,
Aviv,
"Los matamos",
Netanyahu says that they killed him. They killed
pero
them,
no fue intencional.
but it was not intentional.
Declara que los mató.
But he said outright that they killed them, even if it wasn't intentional. So then the other ones, they are
Porque en
intentional.
Palestina ustedes no han visto cómo
The
destruyeron
Palestinian
el
people have
principal
not seen
hospital
how they
que
destroyed,
costó décadas
how they
construir,
destroyed
el hospital más grande.
the main hospital, the largest hospital that took decades to build in Gaza.
Lo dejaron inútil.
They left it completely
Destruyeron
unfunctional.
todo.
They destroyed
Y
everything,
aparecieron cientos de cadáveres
and
en
hundreds
todo
of
el
bodies
piso,
came
de gente
in every
asesinada
floor of
con
people
tiros de
killed,
gracia. ¿O es que
assassinated
ustedes no lo vieron?
by
¿O es
coup
que
d'etat
nadie lo ve?
shots.
¿O es que a
Does no
nadie le
one see
duele
this? Does
Palestina?
no one
¿O es que
feel
está
sorry for
permitido
this?
que el
Or is it that
sionismo
it's allowed that
y la
Zionism
élite
and the elites
asesina que
can
gobierna Israel
assassinate, that the government of Israel can
a sangre
kill
y fuego?
kill with blood and fire? Is this allowed? That they violate international humanitarian right?
¿O es que nadie ve
Does no one see
a mujeres con sus niños humildes
women with their
buscando
humble
comida
sons
en
looking
el
for
sur de
food
Gaza,
in
en
the
la
south
ciudad
of
de
Gaza, in Rafah,
y son asesinados con
and are
misiles
killed with missiles,
de alta precisión?
with high precision missiles? Does no one see this? No one sees it.
Parece que la Corte Internacional de
It looks like the
Justicia, señor
International Court of
Vicepresidenta,
Justice,
no lo ve.
Mr. Vice President, does not see this.
Y si algún día
And if one day
esos organismos
those
han quedado
organizations
desnudos,
have been
están
left
al
bare,
servicio de los poderes
that are in the
imperiales,
service
en
of
este
imperial
momento
powers,
histórico,
is
en que
right
la
now in
Corte
this historical
Internacional de
moment
Justicia
in which the
no ha hecho
International
nada
Court of Justice
para
has
proteger el
done
derecho a
nothing
la vida
to
del
protect the
pueblo
right of
palestino.
life of
Y
the
así lo
Palestinian
decimos
people.
desde Venezuela.
And that's how we said it from Venezuela.
Está cuestionada la
It is highly
moralidad
questioned the morality
de esa Corte
of
Internacional
that
de Justicia,
International Court of Justice
que voltea a un lado ante el
that
genocidio
looks
más grande
to the side,
transmitido en vivo y directo
that
por
turns a
las redes
blind
sociales.
eye before the greatest genocide.
¿Y qué va a hacer la humanidad frente a esa masacre?
And what is humanity going to do before that massacre?
Temas para reflexionar, compatriotas.
It's a subject to reflect,
Temas para
compatriots.
reflexionar que Venezuela pone en la mesa,
It's a subject that
del
Venezuela
debate
puts on the
mundial,
table
exigiendo
to be debated on the world
alto al
stage,
genocidio de Israel contra el pueblo de
demanding
Palestina.
an immediate
Y que la Corte
end to
Internacional
the
de
genocide of
Justicia
Israel
se
against the people
pronuncie
of
y
Palestine,
detenga el genocidio.
and that the International Court of Justice comes out and condemns the
Esto no es
genocide.
un tema del pueblo judío.
It's not an issue of the
Sangre corre,
of the
sangre
Jews,
judía,
because in my blood I have Jewish
por
blood,
los Maduro y por los moros.
both Maduros and Moros.
También corre sangre india
I also have
y
native
africana.
blood and African blood.
Tengo un 14% de genes de
I have
Nigeria, de
14% of genes from
Orgulloso
Nigeria, and I'm
de
proud
ser
of it.
africano.
Proud of being that part of
34%
Africa.
de genes indios.
34% of
Orgulloso de
indigenous
ser
genes, and proud of it
Pero
as
también
well.
tengo un porcentaje altísimo
But I also have a high
de genes
percentage
europeos, de los Maduro, los Oduberos,
of Europeans, of
mi
Maduros,
abuelo,
my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather,
y de los moros también.
and from Moros as well,
expulsado de España
expelled from
en
Spain
1492.
in 1492.
Vi una encuesta en estos días
I saw a survey in those days
hecha a nivel mundial,
that
publicada
was
en
made
Estados
at a
Unidos.
world
Aquí nadie
level,
la publicó.
published in the United States. No one did this here. No one published
Encuesta
here.
hecha en Israel y
A
en el
survey
mundo
made in Israel and the world
al pueblo judío.
to the Jewish people,
Y me sorprendió el número.
and I was surprised by the number and said,
Eso tenía que ser así.
that's how it had to be.
Dice que el 76%
Because the survey says that 76% of the Jewish people of Israel and the world is against of what is being done against the people of Palestine and want the war to
Por
end.
eso nuestro mensaje también es al
That's
pueblo
why
de
our
Israel,
message is also to the people of Israel, to the Jewish people of the world, to the Muslim people of the world, to the Catholic and Christian people of the world, to unite all in one single word of peace, a voice of peace for life and coexistence.
valga el comentario, ineludible.
Important this comment.
Quinto momento
The fifth moment
de la conspiración contra Venezuela,
of the conspiracy
que es el
against
momento de la
Venezuela,
ofensiva
which is the moment
de ellos,
of their offensive
ExxonMobil, Comando
of
Sur,
ExxonMobil, the South Command,
porque el presidente Irfan,
because
no
President
gobierna
Irfan
Guyana.
does not rule Guyana.
Guyana la gobierna el
Guyana
Comando
is
Sur,
ruled by the South Command,
la CIA
the
y
CIA,
ExxonMobil.
and the
Y
ExxonMobil.
no estoy exagerando.
I am not
Controlan
overreacting
el
this.
Congreso, a los
They
dos
control
partidos,
Congress,
en
they
mayoría,
control the
gobierno
parties,
y oposición,
both the ruling parties and the opposition. They control the government as a whole.
controlan totalmente las fuerzas de
They
defensa
completely
guyanesa,
control the
las
defense
fuerzas
forces of
policiales.
Guyana, the police.
Y tenemos información comprobada
And we have proved
que el
information,
territorio de la Guayana-Esequiba
constructed information in the territory of Guayana-Esequiba
administrado temporalmente
on the
por
temporary
Guyana,
administration of Guyana.
han instalado bases militares
They have
secretas
created secret military
del Comando
bases
Sur,
of the South
núcleos
Command,
militares del Comando Sur,
military bases of the U.S. South Command, bases of the CIA,
para preparar agresiones a
to
la
prepare
población que
aggressions
sumeremos,
against the people of the region,
para preparar agresiones a la población del
to
sur
prepare
y del oriente
aggressions
de Venezuela,
against the people of the south and east
para
of Venezuela,
prepararse en una escalada
and to
contra
prepare
Venezuela.
on escalated
Por
tensions
eso
against
siempre hay que
Venezuela.
estar preparado,
That's why we
con
must
la
always be
guardia,
ready,
la
with our
moral
guards up,
para
with our
defender el
morale
derecho a la paz
up
de
high,
Venezuela
to defend the right
y a
of the
su
homeland
integridad
of Venezuela and its national territory.
Y el sexto momento del
And
que
the sixth
hablábamos
moment of what we were speaking
es este que estamos viviendo. Dijimos,
is this one that we're living
vamos a
right
un
now.
sexto momento.
We're going to go to a sixth moment.
De aquí en adelante,
From here on,
vamos a una nueva etapa.
we're going to a new stage.
Convocamos a referéndum.
We convene a
Con el
referendum,
poder del referéndum
and with the power of a referendum,
y ahora el poder de la ley
and now the
orgánica
power of the
en
organic law,
defensa de la Guayana
in
Esequiba,
defense of Guyana-Esequiba,
tenemos los instrumentos
we have the
necesarios
necessary instruments
para que en unión nacional,
so that
con el
united,
mayor fervor nacionalista
the greatest
patriótico,
feeling
los venezolanos
of patriotism,
y las venezolanas
Venezuelans
avancemos
can move
en la
forward
recuperación
in the recovery
integral de los derechos históricos
of our historical
sobre la
rights over
Guayana-Esequiba.
Guayana-Esequiba.
Por eso voy a proceder
That's why now,
con mucho orgullo,
with a lot of
con mucho
pride
amor,
and with a
con
lot of
mucha-
love,
con mucho compromiso,
with a great commitment to sign
de inmediato
right now
y a promulgar
and to enact
esta ley
this law,
vinculante y
this
obligante
binding law
que de carácter orgánica ha aprobado la
that has
Asamblea
been approved
Nacional.
by the National
Ha
Assembly
valido la pena
of Venezuela.
rescatar el sueño
It
de
has
los
all been
libertadores,
worth it to
vale la
recover
pena
the dream of Bolivar.
luchar por
It is
nuestra
worth
tierra,
to fight for
por
our
nuestros
land,
derechos.
to fight for our
Y
rights.
nosotros,
And we,
así lo digo,
so I say it,
con inteligencia,
with intelligence,
con estrategia,
with strategy,
con audacia,
with
pero
audacity,
con mucho fervor patriótico.
but also with a great patriotic feeling.
Más temprano que tarde,
And sooner than later,
los derechos
we are
de
going to
Venezuela
recover the
sobre la
rights of Venezuela
Guayana-Esequiba.
over the
Así lo juro
Guayana-Esequiba.
frente a ustedes,
So I swear before all of
y
you,
así será.
and so it will be.
Que Dios bendiga a
God
nuestra
bless
patria y la mantenga en paz. Muchas gracias.
our homeland and
Felicitaciones.
keep it in peace.
Asamblea
Thank you very
Nacional.
much.
Procedo a la
Congratulations,
firma y la
National
promulgación.
Assembly,
Muchas
I will now sign and enact the law. Thank you very much.
La promulgación de la ley orgánica para la defensa de la Guayana-Esequiba, de conformidad con lo previsto en el artículo 213 de la Constitución de la República Bolivariana de Venezuela.
Let's remember that this law is made up of 22 articles and 4 chapters and declares the invalidity of the Paris Arbitration Award, a document with which it was intended to legitimize the dispossession of this territory from Venezuela. Likewise, it establishes the creation of the state of Guyana-Essequiba within the territorial organization of Venezuela. At this moment, the President is signing and enacting the law of defense of the Guyana-Essequiba. This bill aims, and this law aims, to establish the mechanisms for the defense of the territory of Guyana-Essequiba, currently usurped by the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, as a result of the invalid arbitral award of 1899. At the beginning of this year, President Nicolás Maduro welcomed the decision of the Parliament to move forward with a definitive approval of the organic law of Guyana-Essequiba. The President is at this moment saluting and greeting all the officials present at the National Assembly's headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. Let's remember that in the first chapter, the law declares the Paris Arbitral Award of 1899 invalid, and in its second chapter, it orders the creation of the state of Guyana-Essequiba, which will have an integral defense zone that will subordinate itself both militarily and administratively to a defense region. We are seeing images of the President Nicolás Maduro greeting the officials present at the National Assembly's headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We were listening to President Nicolás Maduro live from Venezuela's National Assembly headquarters in Caracas in the framework of the enactment of the law in defense of the Guyana-Essequiba territory. In his remarks, President Maduro assured that future generations will remember this day with pride and will admire the history of the Venezuelan struggle for its sovereignty. President Nicolás Maduro also assured that this historical document is a result of the demands of the people of Venezuela and for the defense of the Venezuelan sea ecosystem and territory. Colonialism in Venezuela is over forever, the President assured. Let's remember that this law is made up of 22 articles and 4 chapters and declares the invalidity of the Paris Arbitration Award, a document with which it was intended to legitimize the dispossession of this territory from Venezuela. Continue in the National Assembly of Venezuela and its headquarters in Caracas.
La población venezolana y que finalmente permitió ser sancionada en estos espacios.
The President, during his statements, assured that the people of Venezuela will admire the Venezuelan struggle for its sovereignty. Future generations will remember this day with pride, he assured. President Nicolás Maduro also assured that this historical document is a result of the demands of the people of Venezuela. and also the defense of the Venezuelan sea, ecosystem, and territory. Venezuela keeps following the legacy of Commander Hugo Chavez, defending the achievements reached during his presidency and his leadership. As the President Nicolás Maduro mentioned, the document that the President just signed and enacted today establishes the creation of the state of Guyana-Essequiba within the territorial organization of Venezuela. This bill also aims to establish the mechanisms for the defense of the territory of Guyana-Essequiba, currently usurped by the Cooperative Republic of Guyana as a result of the invalid arbitral award of 1899. Let's recall that in early December, the presidents of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, and Guyana, Mohamed Irfan Ali, held the first meeting. This is all for the moment. You'll have more updates in the upcoming news briefs. Keep informed with teleSUR and stay tuned.